shot, they were met with a chaotic and devastating scene. Two men were lying on the ground, both suffering from gunshot wounds. One of them, Emmett Corrigan, was pronounced dead at the scene. The other was Deputy Robert Hall, who was still alive, but gravely injured. Nearby, Robert's wife, Candy Hall, appeared physically unharmed. She was found sobbing over her husband's body, telling officers she had just witnessed everything unfold. A handgun was discovered only a few feet away, and investigators quickly determined it was the only weapon at the scene. Robert was rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. Meanwhile, Candy was escorted to the police department, and she was placed into an interrogation room to give her account of what had just happened. Before the detectives sit down with Candy, they decide to stop at the hospital to see if Robert could tell them his side of the story.
Do you remember what happened to you, bud? And what happened at Walgreens?
My wife.
Your wife?
Where's my wife?
She's safe. Was she with you?
Yes. Her car was next to mine.
Did she meet you there?
Yes.
Did you go there to meet somebody, or did you go there to buy something?
No, my daughter said my wife was there.
Your daughter told you that your wife was there?
Yes.
Hey, Rob, do you remember there being an altercation or anything with anybody?
Yes, there was another guy there.
There was another guy there?
Yes.
What happened with the other guy?
He fought.
He fought with you?
Yes.
Over what?
Wife.
Over your wife? What happened during the fight, Rob? You don't know?
Did you know this guy that you fought with over your wife?
Yeah, it's her boss.
It's your boss?
Okay. What was the fight about, Rob?
For wife, he shot me, I think, in the neck.
Investigators were unable to get any more information from Robert. However, they were able to confirm that the firearm found at the scene belonged to his wife, Candy. So the question was, how did two men get shot with the same gun, and what led to the shooting? In order to get more answers, detectives begin their interview with Candy. At this point, Candy has no idea if her husband is dead or alive.
Oh, God. Oh, God, please, God, please. How long have you and your husband married? 17 years. Long time. What does he do for work? He works for Ada County Sheriff.
17 years, y'all. That's crazy. 17 years. So when did you decide to start?
Oh, he does? He's a deputy. How did all three of you guys end up at the Walgreens?
I was at Walgreens earlier, and so was Emmett. And well, I didn't know he was there, and I went and got my prescription. And then when I was leaving out there, we had a big case. We've been doing really well at work, and we started talking. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get some gas," and I know his wife and his 5 kids. And I said, "Oh, okay."
Candy claims she went to Walgreens to pick up her medication when she saw her employer, Emmett Corrigan.
Nah, bitch, you probably went and met that nigga up there. Stop playing. Stop with the shenanigans, ho. Stop it. Like, see, I can't do it like that. My temperature bad. Like, the moment a motherfucker get to crying, I point that I can't stand a crying female. And a lying crying female sets me off. I can't deal with it. I gotta go. I can't. And I know you lying and crying to me. Like I know you lying. Then I feel like you're trying to play me still. Like, man, and it struck a nerve. I tell you that much. She definitely finna put it off on somebody else. She's not finna take responsibility for this. Like, this is all your fault. In reality, everything that's happening, it's your fault. The damage behind it, what's going on. And you already trying to push it out talking about some, you was going to pick a prescription and you ran into your boss. Nah, man, you got his number, man. Why you telling us you know his wife and kids? Yeah, you know exactly his wife and kids know what time they home, when they leaving, when he get free time, when he...
Oregon, also picking up medication of his own. Candy was a paralegal, and Emmett was a lawyer. Candy
Yeah,
tells
Candy.
detectives that they were working on a
Yeah,
big
Candy.
case, so
Candy
Emmett
did.
asked her to go with him to get gas, so they could discuss the case further. When they returned to Walgreens, her husband was there waiting.
And we drove back, and Rob was there at Walgreens, and I knew that because my daughter had called, and Rob called me earlier, and oh God, and we were all talking outside, and I said, I'm gonna go. The girl. I turned around and I heard pop, 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 and I didn't know what it was, and I was like, what? And I turned around and I hear Emmett go, and kind of like, and he fell, and then I looked over at Rob, and he's on the ground, and blood all over him. I was like, oh my God. So I went over and I put my hand on it. Oh my God. He's gotta be okay.
I'm sure he will.
Oh God. Please, God, please.
You see how you got man, these females out here, if you, not only you gotta protect your daughters, of course, you know, you got kids. I got 5, I got 6 boys and 1 girl. My girl is my youngest daughter. She's only 17 months. Definitely will be raising her, teaching her accountability, and none of this shit right here, man. But this could be somebody's son that shot. Her husband is somebody's family member, son, all of that. And you don't want your son to get with him because get with somebody like that. Because people just think, oh, you gotta worry about your daughters, worry about her getting with a aggressive, violent man or stuff like that, which happens in reality. You know what I'm saying? But men are overlooked as because we're considered strong. We're stronger than da. But women are capable of taking you out of here. There's so many cases of women, the cause or the aggressor of taking you out of here. Men leaving their guards down, not. It's crazy.
Please, God.
The officer watching Candy leaves the room to check and see where the detectives are that are supposed to be interviewing her. While the officer is away, she receives an update on Robert's condition.
He's stable condition.
Oh God.
The gunshot wound didn't penetrate anything, so he's talking to the other officer right now. So
Thank you so much. Oh,
he's doing okay right now.
oh God. Please.
Like you said he thought it was just kind of a scratch mark. They kind of just grazed the top of his head. So.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
Okay.
Oh God.
So I'll give you some more information when I get it. Okay, a detective should be here in a few minutes to talk to you.
Okay.
All right.
When do I not get?
Y'all see her, when she said the detective would be here in a second to talk to you, did you see the way she hesitated, like, ooh, she don't, yeah.
Can I talk to Rob?
Not for a little while. Not until this is all being investigated, so it's going to be a little while.
Right.
Yeah, no, he don't want to talk to
where was
you.
Rob at when you guys went and got gas and you guys pulled up? Was he?
He was in the truck.
He was sitting in his truck.
And he just got out, and he and I, we've not been good, but we've been talking about splitting and stuff because it's been bad for a while, long 3 years, and but not, anyways. So he was very, 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 very jealous of. Well, not very jealous, I don't say that. He was just upset about my actions lately, which is just basically, I just had enough. And it being younger and good looking, whatever. he assumed, which he's been assuming for like 7 months, that, you know, we were.
You see her? Y'all see this bitch lying already? She lying. Bitch, you been fucking around with this man. And he caught wind of it. He's like, man, you going to this ball show, always got this extra shit like that. He got the feeling like, come on, you can tell that man loves you. Like, you the one stepping out. Hey, man, it's just why, man, marriage, bro. Marriage is what y'all think? Marriage is the motherfucker, man. It's taking a limb. Like, you could have did all this without all this. You know what I'm saying? It just makes it this much worse. 17 years, man, and she doing this. Look at this help. And she's so trying to chop out the fact that, oh, it wasn't her fault because she don't want to be accountable to nothing that happened. She's the whole reason. She's the son of the situation. Everything is revolving around her. All this chaos, everything she started.
You know, having some toward affair, which is not true. I actually know his wife and his kids, and they've been in my work and everything, but Rob didn't want to hear that.
Despite their age difference and the fact that Emmett was married with 5 children, the police would later find emails between Emmett and Candy, proving that they had been having a very serious relationship for quite some time.
See?
And he was upset when he got out of the truck, and he was talking
bitch.
to Emmett, and they kind of had words, but that was it. And then this car drove by. I turned around to walk back to my car. Car drove by, and I hear this pop up, and I just, oh God. And then I see it on the ground, and I see Rob on the ground, and I just freaked out. I'm hoping.
You freaking out for because you freaking out because your ass the one who caused this shit. You've been fucking with that nigga. You've been fucking with that man. Going to work while this, laying up with your husband. He could tell you've been distant, because one thing about females, she ain't fucking you, she fucking somebody else. So you laying up next to her, she's constantly going a long time. She said 7 months, man. That you can't never trust nobody. Now she want to act like she just, no, you having a breakdown because the shit done hit the fan, and you're gonna be the cause of this shit. Real talk.
I'm praying. They have cameras outside of Walgreens in that parking lot. They do. From what I understand, they do, so.
It turns out that Walgreens did have cameras, and the detectives quickly gained access to them. The first video shows Candy arriving at Walgreens, where she would get into Emmett's truck and leave. While they're gone, we see Robert's truck pulling in, and the deputy getting out. He enters the store like a man on a mission. He walks down the aisles looking for his wife. When he realizes she isn't there, he goes back out to his truck, and he waits for them to return. Unfortunately, there were no cameras where the shooting took place, and since Candy is a sole eyewitness, it's important that she is interviewed, and hopefully she can explain how 2 men were shot with a single gun.
So, a single gun?
So, we've got a whole bunch of cameras out, piecing this together, okay? And are you good with talking with us right now? I mean, you got brought down here as a witness, and the way I'm looking at this is, you know, are you going to voluntarily talk to us and tell us what happened tonight?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I would imagine it was a horrible event. You work in a law office. Please help us put this together as best as we can. We'll match statements with evidence. I mean, you know how police work goes, I guess.
know. I do it all day long.
Okay. Where does this thing start?
Basically, at home.
Who's all involved tonight?
It would be Robert, my husband, and Emmett Corrigan, who is my boss and friend. Rob, my husband, he has had a really hard time.
My boss and friend.
And no fault to him or anything, but with me working with Emmett being younger and, you know, aggressive attorney, and I have been working with him since October. And he got jealous at a point, but we were bad in our relationship, so all those emotions came mixing it. So when I went and got gas at Fred Meyer with Emmett, And then we were driving back, and my daughter called me, and she said, "Mom, where are you?" I'm on my way back. I told her I was with Michelle, and that is my best friend Michelle, because I didn't want to tell her who I was with. And she told her dad, I could hear her saying, she's with Michelle. But I said, I have to pick up my car at Walgreens. Okay, because that's where it is. I left my car at Walgreens. Okay. And I said, we're just driving around, is what I told Hannah on the phone. Michelle and I are driving around. Dad and I have had a bad night, and I'm talking to Michelle. That's what I said. So then Rob calls, and he calls me, and I pick up, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I am out." And he said, "Are you out with Emmett?" And I said, "I am." And he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "We're just talking." And then Emmett goes, "Let me talk to him." And so Emmett got on the phone, and he said, "Rob, we're talking about," and Rob must have said something like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "We're just talking about life. That's all." And then Emmett got really upset with Rob.
Yes, another man just got on the phone when you supposed to be his wife, you dumb motherfucker. How about you just would have packed your bags up since you want to have this relationship? Pack your bags up. Leave the kids there with the father. Take your ass on up, but you wasn't doing it because your conniving ass was fucking him. He had a whole wife and kids of his own. He had no plans of running and going with you. He's just the boss, and you was a sucker. Pretty much. Look.
On the phone and said something like, "Break your head" or something like that. And I looked at him, and I kind of hit him on the shoulder, and I go, "What are you doing?" And I grabbed the phone, and I said, "I'll be there in just a second." And so when we pulled up, he parked the way he was, and Emmett got out of the truck, and I got out, and I stood there, and Rob came up, and Emmett's a very...
Why is you standing there by him?
Aggressive man. He bodybuilds, so he's really pumped up all the time, and he got like this close up into Rob's face, and I remember, and I'm all, "Hey, knock it off, this is ridiculous." And then they exchanged some words about Emmett was trying to down Rob, and I looked at Emmett, I said, "Knock it off." And I said, "This is enough, let's all be adults here and just leave. It's whatever." Emmett said, "What are you going to do, Rob? Are you going to hit me?" Rob goes, "I'm not going to hit you. I can't do anything, And I said, "Okay, look, I'm leaving." And the next thing I knew is this car went by me, and I don't know where it went. I waited for this car to go by, and I just said, "Okay, I need to go. Hannah's at home. She just called me." And I turned around and walked to my car, and I hear pop, pop, and then pop. And that's all I heard. And I turned around, and both of them are laying on the ground. What in the world? I didn't even know what the pop was. It almost sounded like balloons popping. And I'm like, and I ran over, and I see this blood gush. I didn't see Emmett at this point because Emmett was kind of like on his, like this. And I didn't know what was going on. And I just see all this blood gushing down his rough face. So I went over, and I covered. He had this wound on his top of his head, not covered, and I'm calling 911. And then I'm like, "Rob," and I'm screaming in his ear, "Stop." And then I took my hand off of it after I was talking to 911, and then I ran over to see what was wrong. But what was...
She said she took her hand off of it? She took her hand off of what, the pistol?
What's going on? And I think had a shot here because there was stuff on the ground, and he had water like coming out of his nose. And then I just freaked, and then I look up, and Rod's standing up, and I was like, "Oh my God, get down. And he's walking towards me like in a daze. I'm like, "Oh my God. And then there was a gun over by Rob, and I like not by him, but like over to the side where when he was walking to me, they're in like right in the center, and he went down to grab it, and I go, no, and I grabbed it from him, and then he's walking after me, and I'm holding on to him like this. I'm like, no, 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 and I tossed the gun like this, like, no, and then he collapsed where we ended, where the paramedics got him. That's where we ended, and I shoved the gun, I just threw it like in the street, like in the middle of the street, like
We saw
just
where,
to get away.
saw where
Yep.
it rested.
And that's exactly what happened, and then I just freaked out. I didn't know what to do.
Candy claims to have handled the firearm.
Please like and subscribe. Greatly appreciate it, y'all. How y'all doing? Name's Essex, aka Spur Dirty. This is my reactions. Back again with the shenanigans, you feel me? We almost done with this segment. It's almost over with. Appreciate y'all joining me. God bless y'all, Gypsy Gang. Let's continue with it.
After it had been fired, which would have explained why her fingerprints had been found on the weapon. The problem is, how did two men get shot with the same gun?
Right.
Candy has already lied about having an affair with Emmett, so detectives are concerned she is lying about the gun.
Anyways, I just grabbed the gun, and I
Hey, you ain't lying, Jason. Ain't hard to see. It ain't hard to tell that she had something to do with it, my boy. All that crying and stuff, she definitely.
I'm walking with him like what?
So did you pick up the gun?
I did.
Okay, so you carried the gun for a distance.
Yeah, and I pushed it over to, and I just threw, like, well, I kind of went like this, and I just put it in the middle of the street because I didn't know, was he going for the gun? Was he going for something? I don't know. I have no idea.
So you heard this pop, you turned around to these two men struggling, one on the ground bleeding, the other one is all days he been shot. And you think he's going after the gun, so you grab the gun. Put your fingerprints all over the gun, right? You got your fingerprints all over the gun. And you slid the gun away from him because the zombie man was coming at you and you didn't want him to grab the gun. So that's what we at. So I guess she's setting up. She's setting up. Let her cook, y'all. Let her cook.
He was.
You heard pop, like
Yep.
a pause?
Yep.
Okay.
Pop,
Like how
pop,
long of a pause?
goes
Those
my
are
love.
time questions can be tough, but
Seconds.
okay, but a definite pause.
Yeah, it was pop, pop, pop. There's nothing going on. He was here. I was here. It's not uncommon how late he's there. He has 5 children at home, and in fact, he was getting.
He has 5 children at home. They obviously don't want to be at home with. He's cheating on his wife. His marriage is dead. Yeah, the thrill is gone. The thrill is in your ass because us men like to conquer. We like to conquer new pussy. That rejuvenated him. He was getting rejuvenated. He was fucking somebody else's bitch. Ain't nothing like fucking somebody else's bitch. You fuck somebody else's bitch way harder than you fuck yours. Yeah, I'm trying to fuck somebody else's bitch. I'm trying to turn that pussy off the bone. That's just facts. That's why you don't take them back when they leave or when they cheat. Because somebody threw that pussy off the bone. And now she want to come back to you and heal and lay next to you. No. No, man. She lied. The bitch is lying.
Dayquil or something to that nature. And you're going to effing hit me? You're going to effing hit me, Rob? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to effing hit me? And Rob's like, I'm not going to hit you. And Emmett goes, why? You don't want to lose your job, do you? You don't want to. And Rob's like, I'm not going to hit you. I just want to know what is going. And he goes, Emmett goes, because you're a jerk. That's why you're a jerk. So, I mean, he was in his face.
Emmett's in Rob's face.
Mm-hmm. And Rob's like, hey, you know what? I want to know why you were with my wife. And I said, Robert. And I looked at him.
No. You mean to tell me he asked you why you were with his wife and you're going to say Robert? Why is you so sensitive on whatever your husband says. You really don't like this man. He seems like he's very much still in love with you. It's obvious. But Emmett is been, this other guy's been all aggressive. He got a whole wife and 5 kids at home. He's hanging with you. You don't want to be with them brats. You lying to your daughter just to sneak out and be with them. Both of y'all corrupt. You ain't shit. And when they done, he's gonna bring your ass over here because we're gonna turn you out over here. We're gonna put you, we know what to do with you. I know what to do with you. Yeah.
I go, Pop, I'm an adult here. I can be with who I want to be with, you know him. It's not like he's a stranger or anything like that. And he's like, you don't want to do that, Rob. You don't want to get in my face. You don't want.
People, those are the words of a narcissistic woman, but she's definitely, those words are just a cover-up, meaning, I know you know him. It's okay, I'm fucking him. We're just cool. It's him, it's my boss. You know your boss turned that pussy out the frame. I know what the hell, I'm hard in the pussy position and you gonna break the rules. You definitely turn that pussy out every time. That's why you gonna move. Not only he has control of your job now, he done got that pussy. So now you gotta come in there and he's looking at you like candy. You are working up under him. Bitch, you gonna do what I say. You done put yourself in and your husband gotta deal with this. And you got him involved in some shit. You got your daughters lying for now. You set bad examples for your daughter. Got them in your business lying to their own pops. Man, that's the type of shit that make me go to jail. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I'll pump that shit out, man. Like you telling my daughter to lie. You involve my daughter. Man, yeah, I'm going to jail, man. I gotta get my hands on something, bro. That shit become more than just more than over the line, brother.
Want to do that, I'll break your head. Sorry, but that's what he was. The last thing I do know is, and that's when I said, look, enough. I need to go. Hannah called. I need to go. You guys, Emmett, get back in your truck. I told him, Emmett, get back in your truck. Go. Rob, come with me. We need to go home. Okay, I gotta go. Hannah called me. I gotta go. And I turned around to walk to my car, and that's when I heard it.
Before the detectives figure out how the 2 men were shot, they want to focus on Candy and Emmett's relationship. Right. As I said before, the police found emails and text messages between them, showing that they were involved in a very serious relationship.
Are you and Emmett involved in a romantic relationship?
No.
Have you ever been romantic with Emmett?
No.
Have you been sexual with Emmett?
No.
See, that's the one thing about the motherfuckers, y'all. They ain't tell her ass that they know this already. They're gonna ask you these questions because right now she's creating her own case against her. They're gonna let her cook. Because now it's gonna be like, well, why did you lie? Because if they know the answer, they're gonna sit there. That's what I usually do. Especially if I know the answer, I'm not gonna blow. Sometimes I allow people to talk. And I already know the truth, but I just want to see how far they'll take it and get it to where they done dug themselves so far that when I hit them with that, you feel what I'm saying? That's what they're doing to her. They let her talk to her sobbing and, no, I never, no. And then they're going to bring out, well, what is this?
And when officers were coming up and everything was going on so much, I did not tell them that I had picked the gun up and put it in the, just put it away, just scooted away because I didn't know what she was doing. And I go, no, and I picked it up and I just scooted it in the street.
So your fingerprints will be on it?
Yes, they will.
Have you ever been arrested?
No.
Okay, so we'll probably need to get your fingerprints.
Yeah.
Okay.
I worked for Ada County prosecutors, so they took my fingerprints.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're in the same database.
Okay.
We'll work through that. Was it truly coincidental that Emmett was going to Walgreens at the same time that you were going to be there, or was this you guys were going to meet and talk?
Purely coincidental.
All right. In Rob's eyes, did this
Coincidental. Man, you're a lying bitch.
Yes.
You come home,
You
you have a
lying.
shot of tequila, this is your Friday, but Rob's there.
Yep.
You guys have some discussion
Yes.
that doesn't go well.
He's like, yeah, well, you haven't been wanting to talk to me. Every day you come home, you're tired.
He wasn't lying.
And that, and I'm like, I am.
He's not lying.
Kenny, why don't you just tell me you're having a...
She's tired. She's tired because she be getting her pussy knocked out off the frame every night. Before she get home, she working these hours. And they'll tell her the in-between breaks, yeah. She don't want to be touched when she get home. She still got old boy on the brain.
affair. I said, I'm not having an affair. I don't know what you want me to say. And he said, I don't believe you. I truly think that you are involved with Emmett. I said, I'm not. I know you think that because the way that we communicate with cases, text, on the phone, everything, I get that. The fact of the matter is I'm not.
Help me understand. I mean,
Sure.
You must be really emotionally attached to Emmett.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think I am.
I just want to understand the dynamics.
Sure.
Of
No,
what
I
led-
think I think I'm very attracted to him, and in the sense of emotional, yeah, because it's one of those things. He picks me up, you know, and boosts my ego or whatever. Not, I don't know, confidence. I want to say not ego, but confidence. And I think it was at a point where I started really feeling happy the last 6 months and better about myself. My parents saw it in me. I mean, I'm not so codependent where I'm so scared to be by myself or anything like that. I'm fine.
So you're fine. You wasn't so afraid to be by yourself. At the same time, you still living with your husband. Why don't you just leave him and go be with that nigga? Because you couldn't, because he had 5 kids and a wife at home. Like you got a husband at home. Bitches, people are so stupid. Like you gotta watch who you definitely gotta watch who the hell you get involved with. Cause people really think like this. She's avoiding accountability like the fucking plague right now.
Could that be the standoffishness that Rob's been seeing in you?
Yeah.
The male side, when a husband asks the wife, "Are you having an affair?" Well, he's thinking sex, correct?
Oh yeah, I mean, no. Actually, Rob even said it's emotional, isn't it, Candy? And I said it is. I admitted to him that I was attracted to Emmett.
Well, the first thing we want to do is collect gunshot residue.
Man, look, if I was married and we have a conversation and she told me that, one or two things gonna happen. Either she's leaving or I'm leaving. There's nothing to talk about. Once your wife is emotionally not tired, she's invested in somebody, how do you will it about? The only way I see you willing that back in, if it's exactly what it is, help me explain the bullshit. Emotionally tied with another man or woman. How emotionally tied? Because usually when you're emotionally tied to somebody, especially the way she was, you know that it's more intimate. That's the emotion. Ain't intimacy part of emotion, right? You can get emotionally tied by somebody by intimacy. That is the most strongest, quickest form. She said 6 to 7 months she's been working with this guy. And then in the last 6 months, she been, all the dudes seen, he seen a lucky, and he knew that she'll go. secretary running errands, getting that pussy knocked in. She feeling better herself. She got the new dick vibe. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't want to be alone. You want to do all of that and still go back like we.
There's a gunshot residue from your hands.
Yeah, check them hands.
Kit for that.
All right.
This is the part right here.
We're gonna collect your clothes because they have blood on them.
I want to know how they shot each other.
Maybe help piece the puzzle together.
Sure.
You might have a little bit on your face.
Probably, yeah.
No, don't touch anymore.
Oh, sorry.
We might swab a couple spots there.
That's fine.
And kind of treat you as a mini crime scene.
The officer does a gunshot residue test on Candy's hands to see if she pulled the trigger. What he finds strange is that the firearm that was used belongs to Candy. Why would a deputy use his wife's gun when he had access to his own higher caliber firearms?
I wish I knew everything that happened.
No, man.
I just want to know. I just want to know. I mean, there wasn't even any fighting. There was no punching. There was nothing. God.
Oh, I was going to ask you, the gun that you picked
Look
up.
how fast she stopped crying, y'all.
Do you
Look.
recognize that gun?
No, I don't.
Ever seen it before in your life?
No, I didn't have a chance to even look at it, I just know it was little.
And
all I know.
did we cover where you thought that came from?
No. I don't know. I have no idea.
You don't know how that got introduced into the equation tonight?
I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
The results would come back negative. However, this was not definitive evidence that Candy wasn't the shooter. Gunshot residue can be removed by washing or wiping hands, sweating, rubbing hands together, and even passing time. Some firearms, especially small caliber weapons, like the one found at the crime scene, produce very little residue. Despite her many contradictions and lies, Candy was released, but she wouldn't stay free for very long. Meanwhile, Robert was finally released from the hospital after recovering from his gunshot wound, and he would be interviewed by a detective.
I know you've spoken to one of our officers initially about this, but since you got released, I wanted to, talk to you about what happened, what led up to all this. I mean, how we ended up here today.
Since I've been in the hospital, I haven't been able to call my daughters or my parents or my wife or anybody.
Okay.
I have no idea
That's why we came in today to, try and talk to you and get your side of this.
Yeah, I better talk to an attorney first, though.
Okay. From here, we'll just have the officers that brought you here just transport you over to the county jail, and they'll book you in there.
Robert refused to talk to the police, so he would be arrested and charged with murder. A shotgun residue test had been done on Robert while he was in the hospital, and it came back positive. This led investigators to believe that Robert was the shooter, but they still had to answer one haunting question. Was Robert shot during a struggle for the weapon, or did he turn the gun on himself after Emmett went down? Ballistics would show that the firearm was at least 3 feet away from Emmett when he was shot, so it wasn't likely to have gone off during a struggle. If we are to believe Candy, to this day, only Robert knows the answer to that question. Robert would be convicted of second-degree.
Oh yeah, she definitely get the business. I think he shot and then she shot. She probably shot one of them for shooting the other. So both of them ended up being shot.
Murder, and he was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Candy was not charged in relation to this case.
Wow.
However, a year later, she would be sentenced to 2 years in prison for grand theft. Candy was accused of stealing over $30,000 from a former law firm where she had worked. After serving her 2-year prison sentence, Candy remained on probation for 12 more years.
You had an affair with her husband, and he wound up getting murdered, but you seem highly offended by this whole thing.
Look, I understand, and I am so sorry about everything. I understand how.
Have you told the truth for all of this?
The truth of what I know, yes.
Did the judge say you were a liar?
Yes.
Did he say you were the biggest liar he had ever heard since he had been on the bench?
Yes. And he was saying that in the 32 years that he was on the bench, he has never heard anybody change their story as much.
Did she change her story?
From what I could tell.
Was there one story where she saw what happened and another story where she didn't see what happened?
Yes.
There are many theories as to what really happened. and I would love to hear yours. What do you think happened?